Have you ever had a question that you thought you had time to ask? There are things that we only think to ask someone after we can't ask them anymore. Not big dramatic questions. No, it's the small ones where they learned to do something. Or maybe why they always did one step a certain way. Or even what something used to be like before we were around to even notice it. I mean, at the time, it never feels urgent because we assume access is permanent. We all live like people are archived and always accessible instead of temporary. You don't interrogate ordinary days. You postpone curiosity for that better moment, that more suitable time. You hear a story halfway and think, I'll ask them about it later, sometime. And sometime is a very convincing word. It removes all deadlines and sense of urgency from memory. Most relationships that we have aren't defined by big moments. Now, I mean, this isn't a movie screen. They're usually defined by the availability, knowing that you can call someone, knowing they'd be at the same place next week or next month, knowing that the conversation could always continue. And because that continuation exists, at least because we think it does, questions can feel optional. So we, instead, collect partial knowledge about people that we think that we know really, really well. Not because we don't care. I mean, that's far from it. We usually care deeply for these people and value them greatly. A family member, a good friend that you've known for years, since childhood. Even a coworker that you've worked with for a long time, years maybe. No, we only collect that partial knowledge because nothing signaled the closing window for those conversations. Nobody thinks to document everyday expertise. You don't sit someone down in a casual setting and formally ask, well, how did you actually learn that? Like we were taking notes. Or what mistakes did you make before you got good? Who taught you? No, instead, it comes up naturally while they're fixing something, or while you're driving somewhere, or waiting for food as you sit for a long overdue lunch date to catch up. And most of the time, well, we let the moment pass because it feels repeatable. Small talk takes over, where real conversations feel awkward or maybe too heavy at the time. You start remembering conversations in fragments. You can hear the beginning clearly, of a story. You remember where you were standing or sitting. But the middle explanation, well, that never happened. Because you assumed there would be a middle later, a conversation to continue, and later quietly ends up expiring. Not dramatically. It's just replaced by the realization that access was the rare part all along. Even this age of constant, almost excessive connectedness, it's not. Access is rare, and at times really short. As I was thinking of this topic and started working on this video, I thought of two friends from high school that I've had no connection to anymore. Not for 30 years. Two people that I can remember clear events and moments with. I can see it all clearly in memory. Somehow, in that time, during our invincible teenage years, I guess I thought we'd always be around each other. But now there are untold stories I will never know about them. Information rarely leaves all at once. It leaves in unasked follow-ups. You still remember the person, but not the process. You remember the opinion, but not the reasoning. The story, but not the origin. Because the complete version only existed in one place. And that place required timing, well, that you didn't know mattered. Every generation inherits summaries. Very few inherit explanations. Not because older generations hide knowledge. I mean, they don't. It's because younger ones, well, they never knew which afternoon contained that last chance to ask. So memory becomes bullet points, then just broad references. And finally, they're just names without stories attached. It all disappears. We tend to think recording things is about preserving the past, but a lot of it is preserving the unfinished parts, the things nobody realized were lost in mid-conversation with the future. Nobody ever schedules the last ordinary conversation. It just stops renewing itself. And most of what leaves with people was never protected by secrecy, but only by the assumption that there would always be another quiet moment to ask.